All right, ladies and gents, welcome to a new season of Philosophy Culture. This season, we are still gonna focus on financial stuff, but we will be more uh, going in the history direction, so to say, so to say, right? And delve more into uh, the history of finance and some events that has happened. But yeah, as always, I'm here with the bro, Castin. What's up?
What's up, bro, Emirs? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So, what is the topic of this episode?
Okay, so the topic of this episode will be actually the first crash, right? The first bubble, according to some sources, which would be Tulip Mania. And we will basically go through the history, give some background, and just go through the essentials, so to say.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Check it out.
Check it out.
Okay, Tulip Mania.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So the classic question, why do we start? Well, why do we start? Why do we choose to talk about this topic about Tulip Mania?
yeah. Uh, no, but I think it's important to once again to learn about history and also since these economic crashes is a reoccurring occurrence. uh, it's I think it's smart to learn about the previous crashes and busts in the market so that we can be better prepared mentally and also potentially economically when these crashes happen in the future. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective. And also it's just super interesting to know more about the world. So yeah. What about you? What about you?
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you. And I would also add that I think it's also interesting. It's part of like studying human psychology and history to some extent. I think I'll get back to this later in the episode. But yeah, the economic history is very interesting, especially as you said, it's reoccurring, right? So the history is repeating itself, and yeah, it's just interesting to learn more about it. Um, and yeah, that would be it for my part, I would say.
For sure. And
But yeah, I
a
think human psychology will also be an interesting thing is in this episode.
yeah, 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 for sure.
Human
Uh,
behavior, maybe. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. A interesting quote from David Senra is that history doesn't repeat itself, but human nature does. So it's interesting uh, perspectives to maybe keep in mind.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, if you think of it, he is kind of right though,
yeah,
because it's the human nature causing the history to repeat itself. Yeah, good.
exactement.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So the beginning, the beginning.
Hmm.
uh,
All right.
So the Tulip Mania. So it takes place around this 17th century, right? When you say it in English
Yes.
and in the century format, so to say. But year 1600, right? Or 1637 is when the crash happens. But um, yeah. Before that, the Dutch. It happens. Everything happens in the Netherlands, right? And how should we start kick this off?
Yeah, I mean, should we just go through the background very briefly of
Yeah,
how everything started?
yeah, yeah. Sounds good to me.
Cool. Yeah, good. So I mean, yeah. So if I just kick it off, just briefly mentioning some words about the background. So I think in the late 1500. Now I'm not sure exactly when everything started, but I know that in uh, I think most of the 16th century, the Netherlands were part of the Spanish Empire, or there was this empire called Spanish Habar. Hub. I'm really bad at Dutch, so I
Hubbard,
won't.
no?
I'm not sure about Hubbard or something like that. Yeah. So they were like the Spanish and something empire, and during this time, the Dutch people realized that the Spanish or the Spaniards are very uh, they like control apparently, and they yeah so the whole thing became very centralized, and the Spaniards started to tax quite high uh, fees and taxes
Right,
for yeah the trade and everything.
right.
Um, and in 1588, uh, well, I think the whole um, revolution, if you can call it that way.
A small one, yeah.
Yeah, a smaller. Yeah,
Or more
it's
so,
actually very much connected.
more so an uprising, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So everything is very much connected to the 80 Years' War, which started in 1586, if I'm not mistaken, and ended in 1646.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think the numbers
Yeah,
vary depending on the sources, but yeah, like approximately there, yeah.
yeah, approximately. Yeah. So the 80-year war is basically, if we try to summarize this, is a small revolution, small what did you call it? It's
Uprising.
up uprising
Yeah,
of the Dutch people against the Spanish Empire,
right, right,
which
right.
was caused due to high taxes and centralization
Of power, yeah.
of power. Yeah.
All right.
Uh, so yeah,
Now we got that out
yeah,
of the way, and yeah,
exactly. And then in 1588, so this was during the 80-year war, uh, some Dutch rebellion rebels actually declared a province in, I think it was in Utrecht in the Netherlands. It was a northern part, if I'm not mistaken. So they declared that part independent,
right.
uh, which actually like really became independent in 1609, if I remember correctly. Uh, However, yeah, that part became independent according to the Dutch people in 1588, and that's when the Dutch economy started to grow, right?
Yeah, well, I guess yeah, like since they became independent, even though I'm not really sure how everything correlates with each other, but when you read about the Tulip Mania, it says usually in the first paragraph or paragraphs that the Netherlands became independent from Spain. So I assume the war is coming to an end, or there is maybe some sort of a more stagnant period during the war. or I'm not sure, but like it is often said that the Netherlands uh, got their independence, and therefore, yeah, they could then trade freely. They had the Dutch Indian Company, right? Dutch East Indian Company, where they ultimately had a monopoly in selling spices. They had like this exclusive right to sell spices in Asia, and I assume they also sold a lot of spices around Europe as well. So they got yeah, wealthy off of that, and I assume also uh different business ventures other than spices. But they also then around that time started to like started to innovate in the financial space. So like they created like the a formal wait, I have it here. They started to create do 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 uh I have it here. Yeah, creating formalized stock markets, business contracts, and like joint stock companies. And actually, the Dutch East Indian Company, which traded spices or sold spices, was the first joint stock company in the world. So, according to Wikipedia. But yeah, so they invented a lot of new things within the financial industry, so to say, right? But then I think,
Absolutely.
yeah, then I think it is also important to mention that I think most people in around that time were Calvinisms, which is a domination or a branch of the how do you say it in English? Protestants, right? Protestants, I think. Which is a domination of which is a Christian domination, and then Calvinism is a branch of the Protestant domination. And those who were Calvinists, maybe, maybe that is how you say it. But they like had like this belief that, or their religion said that they couldn't show like those who were wealthy, they couldn't show off their wealth like too obviously. Like they it was forbidden to dress apart, so to say, to kind of differentiate or to kind of show off your class, so to say. Which then resulted in the interests in tulips, right? Which actually like the tulips originate from like the West Asia region. Then they um, got to the Netherlands, where the yeah where people gained the fascination of the tulip since it was a beautiful flower, and yeah resulted in more people buying it, and the price rose up, and so on. Yeah. Do you wanna add something, Costin?
I wouldn't say so. No, I think yeah. No, I think as you said, like after the independence, the Dutch economy was like booming, and that's why when they like trade and everything like developed and their economy was like booming as well. Yeah, I already said that, but they're yeah uh, were very innovative when it comes to the economy and so on. Um, and yeah, it felt like eventually when it comes to the tulips and everything, it was also a symbol of status, right?
Yeah,
Because
well,
it was usually this is yeah, go ahead.
no, I think that's kind of the main reason how the tulips got traction. Since
Yeah.
I think, according to some historians I've uh, I've read their interpretation of this event from, said that the tulips kind of, for some people, became a ticket to become a part of the high society in the Netherlands.
Mm.
So I think that was one of the main attractions, perhaps. But yeah, what did you want to say? I interrupted you. Fuck.
No, but no, but uh yeah, they were usually put so those flowers, those types of flowers were usually uh planted like outside uh mansions and like really, luxurious areas, right? In Amsterdam. Um and so I think there was a specific type of tulips. It was those that had their petals with sort of flame patterns, right? Which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
caused due to a virus that the actual bulb had, or the bulb had.
yeah,
Uh, and as this tulip, as the tulips gain more and more value, people start trading. This is what we talked about a few episodes ago about the futures, right?
yeah, yeah,
Future contracts, and they started trading futures. Yeah, so basically contracts without actually having the bulb physically.
yeah. Or the flower. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
No. No, no, no,
but when
no,
it comes to
no.
tulips, they were usually talking about bulbs. What happened?
Everything just froze. Can you kind of repeat
Okay,
the last two sentences, maybe?
yes. Uh, but I was talking about the tulips. Like when the tulips were traded in the beginning, they were usually bulbs that were traded, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the flowers themselves were like very fragile. So yeah, I mean they don't have so. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they also only bloomed during a specific season, which is the spring, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and some of them could. I mean, according to some of like the research we did before our episode, I learned that it could take up to 7 years for a bulb to like fully flower. Uh,
You mean the flower?
no, like the bulb is like
Okay.
the
Yeah,
seed sort of,
yeah. The
and
onion.
for that to develop and actually flower, it could take up to 7 years, and that's 7 years, and that's why they started to trade futures, so like few like contracts.
Okay.
Um, and
Um,
it's just crazy how all of this could escalate. So, uh,
yeah,
uh,
I'm kind of skeptical that it takes 7 years, but
yeah,
maybe
no,
it's
same here. Same here.
uh, but since I think if I'm not wrong, the tulips are like a annual growing flower, like it grows like every year, right? Like once, I guess once the bulb is mature enough, maybe. But I'm skeptical that it takes 7 years, but uh, who knows? Who knows? Uh,
I mean, to be honest, I feel that's a bit. Now we are putting too much time into uh, into this discussion about when tulips flower, but no, but it's true. Like it's I find it very hard to believe as well.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe it was some other kind of, or maybe during that, because as you said, the tulips came actually from Asia, right?
Oh, what did you say?
Do you
Like
hear me?
everything froze a little again. Oh.
Yeah, no, the tulips,
Yeah.
as you said, the tulips came from Asia,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking that the conditions for it to grow weren't maybe the best ones in the Netherlands, right? So that's why it maybe took some time for it to like properly grow.
I'm not sure. I'm not
I mean,
since the Netherlands is now known of having these massive tulip fields, I'm unsure if the climate is bad for tulips.
nowadays the genetic structure, or like
Okay.
GMOs,
Right, right,
genetic
right.
modified organism, yeah. So they can basically make everything grow whenever wherever they like. Uh, but I have no idea about during that time. But anyway,
Yeah.
since as you said, I think one of the good reasons is, as you said, the tulips grow like a specific time during their year, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I think they also start using these futures contracts and so on, which they like sold. And I think that's also what inflated the actual price of the whole
Yeah.
of the
Bubble.
tulips, because the like
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I bought a contract and I sold it to you for even more money, and you sold it further for even more money, and so on.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and yeah,
there could like occur multiple trades of the same future during the day. I think it's yeah.
that's
Um,
also crazy.
so but yeah, exactly. So since people were impatient, I think like they were impatient until the season came, till the tulips blossomed. So they traded the contracts, and then also I think the whole thing escalated because I think people who were like invested in the or had bought the hype of the tulips, they had like this time pressure on them to not miss on the prices rising, right? Uh, to not miss the train, so to say. Uh, so yeah, interesting, and everything so interesting. Like there's this theory called the greater fool theory, which basically is this theory of when an asset which isn't actually maybe valuable at its core, but like
Yeah,
people still buy and sell it, and they hope that there will be a greater fool that will buy the asset for a higher price from them, and that yeah chain or that motion continues, right? Till I guess people realize that that asset isn't as valuable, and somebody just loses a lot of money.
yeah, and that's very good, because I mentioned about human psychology, and maybe this is better. It's better to be put as human behavior, maybe, but as like the NFTs, for example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's that one kind of example of the thing you mentioned, like the monkey NFT.
yeah,
I don't even know what it's called. The crazy. Okay, no, I don't know the monkey NFT. Anyone, I think everyone knows about the
yeah,
monkey
yeah,
NFT.
yeah,
There was like, I don't even know in which year, 2021, 2022,
yeah,
2022
yeah.
maybe. that there was a huge hype around it, um, or NFTs in general. And that again, I mean, eh, imagine if the humans wouldn't put so much emphasis on such things, then they wouldn't actually be worth as much as they are actually worth, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I think that could be applicable with the, we had some discussions about fiat money, fiat currency. That again, I mean, if everyone on this planet says that, you know what, we won't trade with this type of currency anymore
Yeah.
because it's actually nothing, and it is actually nothing. Well, we'll trade in, let's say, gold. Then the whole trading, the way of trading would change, right?
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, that would be interesting if that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So now we have gone over the futures. Um I think now it is kind of clear what happened, right? I think we have pretty somewhat like clearly if I dare to say laid out the situation and the whole event. And now maybe it's the time to say that there is a lot of misconceptions during this, many misconceptions related to this event, right? So there's this one historian called wait, I got her name, uh, Anne Goldger, which is a historian, and she actually went to Netherlands and like studied a lot of cities or towns in the Netherlands to like search for historical references back to this time. So she like uh, read wills of other people and like stuff like that. And what she basically concluded is that the event is very much exaggerated. Like there was this bubble formed like in the tulip market, but it didn't result in any huge economical crash since the people who were in the tulip market were only the people like who were in the upper class, the higher is socio-economic class, right? and uh, and those people could afford to lose that money that they lost when the tulip lost its value. So it didn't really result in any suicides and panics and stuff like that. So I think it's important to keep that in mind that there is people who um, argue that this whole event is exaggerated since it is kind of appealing to us humans to maybe exaggerate things and also make other people look more stupid than they actually were. So it's important to keep that in mind, I think. But yeah, anyways, it is still regarded as one of the first and also maybe one of the more famous economical crashes in history. So yeah, yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up. Good. Do you have any thoughts or opinions about this? I mean that a tulip could, at its peak in 1637, reach the price of a luxurious apartment. What do you think about it?
I think it even was a house.
Yeah, or a house, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If I have any thoughts about this,
Because now we have basically gone through like the whole thing ish.
yeah, the essence of the
Uh,
story.
yeah. And then we also have like maybe the question could be like, why did the bubble crash? Or like, yeah, why did the whole thing crash? And that was basically because the people stopped believing that it's actually worth so much for a tulip,
Yeah,
according
no,
to what I've read.
yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
for sure. Continue.
No, but they just like, they just stopped paying that price for the contracts and so on. So everything just collapsed because it didn't make any sense, and it
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
uh,
exactly.
so that's why the whole thing crashed eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like, I like this saying. I don't know how how uh, good good it kind of correlates to this event, but it is there is this saying that humans are not rational; they are rationalizing, right? So they try to
Rationalizing.
yeah that they try to be rational, right? But they aren't like rationals in the sense uh, too many times our decisions are influenced by emotions and yeah uh, emotions as the core reason, yeah,
Absolutely.
or as the core influence. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah. Once again, I think it's really cool that we read about this, that we learned about this event since uh, it is pretty well documented that humans on a large scale don't typically learn from history. So I think it's a good thing that we uh, are curious, that we read about this, and hopefully we will uh, be more rational than rationalizing
Hmm.
when it comes to maybe yeah falling for some status symbol and get involved in some sort of a bubble in the future as well. So yeah,
No, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
And I was just thinking,
yeah.
how
What are you thinking?
no, I was just thinking how easy other people are influenced by other people, or just simply how easy people are influenced by others. I mean, if one person would come to me today and say like, buy this tulip bulb for like, I don't know, like crazy amount, let's say 1,000 euros.
Yeah,
You know, or if I would go out on a street and say, buy this tulip bulb for 1,000 euros because it's crazy, it's like super valuable and so on. I mean, no one would do it. But I think on a bigger scale, if there would be people and if the media would, emerge that, tulips are, I don't know what, but
it
they
is the
have
new
some,
hot thing. Yeah,
yeah, like everyone would just go buy it.
yeah,
And the same thing happened with NFTs. Uh, feels like at least. Uh, Now I
yeah.
don't hear anything about NFTs anymore.
Right.
I'm sure that there are still people buying and selling or like trading it, but not as much as it was like 1 year ago or some years ago.
Right.
Uh, and then yeah, we had all these bubbles, right? The .com bubble.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which I think we should make an episode on as well.
Absolutely. And real estate and so on.
Oh shit! What happened to my camera? Oh.
As soon as I mentioned the real estate, it just turned off.
Oh. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, there you are.
Uh.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the real estate bubble, which ultimately resulted in the 2007 and 8 crash, right?
yes,
Uh,
exactly. And
for sure. And th these types of crashes happen like at least when the cryptocurrency really relevant. There were like these what do you call them, schemes, yeah, these scams basically, which were called the pump and dumps, right? So you would have these people who would hype up a specific uh what altcoin, and
yeah.
then yeah, that coin would yeah, become popular and stuff. And so a lot of people would invest, and then the people who maybe would, oh shit, okay, I'm going solo. Let's go solo. Okay. No,
Okay.
I'm not solo anymore. Uh,
Okay. It just switched off. Okay, sorry.
but yeah, where was I? So and then the people who kind of were maybe who had created the coin or whatever would just I don't know what they would do physically or technologically, but they would just uh, grab the money which everybody had invested in the coin and just uh, uh, drive off in the sunset. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. And that's kind of the same human behavior that we could see with the tulips, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's pretty identical.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah,
Sure.
humans. Yeah. Who was it that said that? I think it was maybe Warren Buffett or somebody else that said that humans don't learn from the history.
Uh,
Or he
personally,
said that
no,
go ahead.
no, no. I just wanted to say that I think uh, every smart thing that I remember that somebody said, I nowadays want to think that every smart thing came from Charlie Munger. So
Yeah.
uh, but yeah. But like, what was your quote that people?
No, I think I don't know who or if it was said. Maybe I will be the first. No, no, I'm joking. But it was just that, humans don't learn from the history, even though the history is reoccurring. I know
Yeah,
at least for a fact Warren Buffett said that history is reoccurring. And if you wanna now we are completely escalating from like we're switching ways from the tulips to to stock market. But basically Warren Buffett said that, if everyone would apply the same strategy as he has done, they would eventually uh you know
become wealthy.
become yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And
But
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, people don't have patience.
yeah.
So yeah.
And also a really fascinating thing that Charlie Munger has repeatedly said. I don't know repeatedly, but David Senra has at least repeatedly stated that this thing that Charlie Munger said that he wasn't trying to be consistently smart, but he was trying to consistently not be dumb, right? It's not to not make the to just to stay away from the things that don't work that that it's pretty obvious that they are dumb decisions.
Hmm.
So I think that's a golden quote from him actually,
Yeah.
or a golden idea. But okay, so now we have covered the first the first potentially the first financial bubble in human history and the first financial bubble on philosophy culture. So yeah, uh,
Exactly.
I have nothing more to add.
Me either. Me either. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode of Philosophy Culture. We hope you learned something new. And we also hope and do think that this new quarter uh, and types of episodes will bring you even more knowledge, right?
For
And
sure,
help you navigate life's spin. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and yeah, comment down below what you thought about this episode. Maybe you know something about Tulip Mania that we don't. And yeah, hit the like button, subscribe if you wanna hear us talk more about interesting stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Until next time.
Adios.
Yeah.